Sikomo, for those of you that have been in Malawi for a long time, is thank you. I am grateful to my grandparents for introducing me to storytelling. I am grateful to my parents who taught me through storytelling. I am grateful for all those evenings, afternoons, on the shores of Lake Malawi in the village of Tukombo, where we would sit and listen to stories that shaped who we were, that gave us a sense of our identity as Malawians. And this morning, I want to bring you one of those stories. It's a simple story, but it is profound. And so, here it is. Once upon a time, in a village, which could have been anywhere, could have been in Nigeria, could have been in Ghana, or Zambia, or Zimbabwe, or Niger, or Morocco, or Egypt. But for today, it was in Malawi. There was a village that there sat on the shores of a river. The people of this village were very friendly, very hardworking. They also spent 5% of their time working, tilling the soil, finding the crops that they needed to sustain themselves. They had cows, moo, goats, and chickens. They loved to sing. Tisangare, tisangare, tisangare. They loved to dance. In this village lived a young boy. His name was Malonje. Malonje was a fun, loving, creative, happy boy. Everybody in the village loved Malonje. Malonje was very helpful. If somebody needed something done, they knew they could call upon Malonje to help. But Malonje was also very welcoming. In this village, like any other village or town or city, people came and people left. Some people came because they had heard of their rich soil on which they could grow crops. Some people came because they had cows and goats and they had heard that the mountains were great for grazing livestock. Some came because they heard that the river that flowed by the village had plenty of fish. And people left for different reasons. They left for what they thought were greener pastures somewhere else. Anytime a new village, a new group of people arrived at this village, they were welcomed with song and dance. And the drummers would be there, and they would be dancing, and they would be feasting, and Malonje would go and welcome the children. Malonje was known as a one-boy welcoming committee. He would go and welcome the children and take them and show them his village. He would take them to the mountains. He would take them down to the river. He would go show them the goats and the cows. And he would go chasing chickens with the new kids to show them this new village at which they had come. He would make them feel at home. People in the village worked every day. The men would go out to the fields. The women would go fetch firewood and water. The kids would play if they were not at the village school. Life was good in Malonje's village. Well, one day the sun had come up. The breeze was blowing gently. There were a few cotton puffs of clouds in the sky, and a new family could be seen making its way down to the village. All of the people gathered, the drummers gathered, the singers everybody was happy. There's a new family coming to the village. And all of them went to welcome this new family. Mother, father, 2 boys and 1 girl. And Malonje, the one boy welcoming committee, he was at the edge of the pack, going to welcome the new family. As he ran up, he noticed that there were 3 kids, as I said, 2 boys and 1 girl, but on this day, he stopped. See, one of the boys had a big mark that started at the top of his head all the way down his face, and right here under his neck was a big lump. Malonje had never seen that. Tell the truth, this young boy looked pretty frightening. Malonje stopped. But he remembered, oh, I'm a one-man welcoming, 1 boy welcoming committee. I can't stop. And he went. But he did something that he had never done before. He grabbed only 2 of the children and said, come with me. And he left the 1 boy by himself. He took the 2 kids and he went, showed them the mountain, took them down to the river, took them to the goats and the cows, the chickens, took them on a tour of the village and started playing with the 2 children. The 1 boy was left all alone. The sun went down. The next day the sun came up again and village life continued as usual. The men went to the fields to work. The women, some went to fetch water, some went to fetch firewood, and the kids, after they came from school, were playing. Malonje was playing with the 2 new children, and the 1 boy was playing by himself. Luckily, he had become very creative. This had happened to him before. He was made to feel not welcome in the village that he had lived before that, and in the village that he had lived before that. And so he had become very creative. He played his own solitary games that brought him joy, that gave him fun. He created his own games. He played. He went exploring by himself. He went up the mountain. And he found the river where all the kids would go swimming and fishing. And he spent some time there. And then he went by himself and he went and discovered where the goats and the cows were grazing. He discovered where the chickens would go and roost and lay eggs. He did his own exploration of his new home. Malonje looked inside and said, what am I doing? And he started walking towards the new boy. But the other kid said, no, stop. Can't you see? He's different. He doesn't belong here. Look at him, he's frightening. And Malonje turned around. The sun went down. Once again, the sun came up the next day and the same thing happened. The kids were playing. Malonje continued to play with the new kids and integrate them into the village. But this 1 boy was left all alone. In the middle of that day, as the sun was almost nearing lunchtime, the young boy went into the middle of the village and he started singing and dancing. It was a song that they had never heard in the village. It was a dance that they had never seen. Even the men who were working in the fields stopped and looked. The women, as they were cooking, stopped and looked. The children who were playing with Malonje, the new children, they also stopped and looked. Malonje went towards this young boy and he watched him. And this time when the other kids tried to stop him, he did not listen. What are you doing? He said. Malonje stopped in mid-dance and said, Duh! Can't you see that I'm dancing and singing? Yes, I see that you're dancing and singing. But why? The young boy looked at Lilongwe and said, I am welcoming myself to your village. You are welcoming yourself to our village? Okay. Well, this is my second day here, and none of you have talked to me. I've discovered your village by myself, and now I feel good as who I am, a young boy. And so I've decided I'm going to welcome myself to your village. And then the young boy asked him, what's your name? Lilongwe looked down and said, Lilongwe. Lilongwe? Doesn't that mean welcome? Yes. Okay. And then Lilongwe said, what is your name? And the young boy said, Mphatso. Mphatso? That means gift. So tell me about this song and dance. And Mphatso explained the song and dance to Lilongwe. Soon as they two of them began dancing together, the other kids came and joined. And they started dancing. The men, since it was now lunchtime, they had dropped their tools. And they came and they joined in the dance. The women, they had finished cooking, and so they knew that they could also come and join in the dance. And soon all of them were doing this dance with Mphatso and Lilongwe. And they were having a great time. Wow. That evening, as the sun was going down, the buzz in all of the village huts was about the gift that Mphatso had brought to the village. See, the dance that Mphatso was doing was the dance of welcome. But it wasn't just any kind of welcome. It was the dance of welcome and seeing each other with our hearts, not with our eyes. See, Mphatso taught the village that day that if you look at somebody with your eyes, you see tall, you see short, you see big, you see white, you see gay, you see fill in the blank. You see bad hair day. You see she had spinach for lunch. But if you look at somebody with your heart, all you see is human being. When you look at somebody with your heart, all you see is somebody just like me. When you see somebody with your heart, you see somebody who is supposed to be there just like you are. Somebody who is supposed to have what you also want to have. Somebody who is supposed to have the basics. You see somebody who has potential and can be an entrepreneur. You see somebody who can take their craft and take it to all corners of the world. You see somebody who, as the person from the World Bank has shown us, can become whoever they want to be. The song that Mphatso taught them went like this. Ndakuona, ndakuona, ndakuona moni. I see you, I see you, I see you, and I say hello to you. Can you sing that with me? Ndakuona, and can I have house lights, please? Ndakuona, ndakuona, is it possible? Moni, ndakuona, ndakuona, ndakuona mo. If you're willing and able, please stand. Kuno, now follow me. I'm just going to teach you how this song goes. You go like this. Ndakuona, ndakuona, ndakuona mo. Clap 3 times. my heart and I open my hands to you and I say hello to you with respect. May we always see each other with our hearts and not just with our eyes. Remember that gift that in parts were brought to this village. Bring that same gift to each other wherever your footsteps may take you. Thank you.